Hello.
Hey.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Hi. Yes, we can. Well, I can.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. Thank you all for joining. I'm a little nervous because it's like a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's gonna go well. It's gonna be fine. Looking forward to the conversation.
Are you all ready to share your experience, your motherhood, experience, the highs and lows?
Super ready, yeah.
All right.
Yo, turn your camera on, girl.
I just turned on my camera.
Oh, you just turned on yours? Okay, I will. You want to see me? Okay.
No, not really, actually. Okay. Yes!
Hi.
Nah.
Hey,
Hi. Hey, Shingy.
how are you?
How are you?
Good. Excited.
Yes.
This is a
Yes.
virtual event. I'm not usually a camera person, but you know.
Well, here you are. Rachel, she said she had her camera on. She's lying.
I turned it off because
She did. She had her camera on.
She doesn't have any makeup on. That's fine.
oh,
It's okay, honey.
Hi, Linnea.
Hi, Linnea.
Hi, sorry.
Where are you joining from?
Oh, I'm in Sweden.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I'm a friend of Chipo's, so she recommended this for me because I'm pregnant right now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So this is perfect timing for me to get all this information from all you wonderful mothers.
This is really good, and I hope you'll be able to join us for the rest of the program all week. It'll be.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
How far are you?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was excited about the pregnancy news. How far along are you?
I'm about halfway. I'm in week 24 now.
Nice, nice. We'll wish you all the best with it. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
all be well. Yeah. There's Rachel.
Bless more. Welcome. Esnat is connecting. Welcome. Mike and Emiri, welcome.
Yes, Shingi Kanchan.
How are you?
Oh my God.
We need to. You need to adjust your camera, Rachel. Maybe you can help to push it with her.
No, hold on. What's happening with my camera now? Hold on a second.
Okay.
Meeting issues.
All right. So we're live right now. We're about to get started. I'm just gonna give it maybe 1 more minute. So at 12:01 we can start. So we're waiting for Chipo, for Janet. We'll just give them a few more minutes.
Is my camera okay now?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, all right.
So we have, it looks like we have 3 of our panelists. We're just waiting for Chipo Dendere and Janet, and we're not too much of sticklers. When you become a mom, you're never late, you're just delayed. So, oh, there's Chipo. Chipo love. Hi, Chipo. All right, you're on mute, but that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna get started. Thank you all for this third annual TUDiki Shower event. This year we're having it virtual. It's a good thing because we get to have people from different parts of the world. It looks like we have Sweden in the house, we have the USA, we have Zimbabwe, we have people from all over joining us on Facebook Live. And if you're not able to join us for the live event, we're going to be posting this video on Instagram. It will be on our YouTube channel. It will be on so many other platforms, so you can still keep this and learn from the wealth of knowledge that we have. So today on our panel we have the mothers. So it's day one of our event, and we have all our moms, some new moms, some moms that have been in this for a few years, and we have our senior moms who've stopped giving birth. But the journey of motherhood never ends. As long as you have kids, you never stop being a mom. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to show you what we've done in the past on the TUDiki Shower. So these are the highlights from our past events. I wish this was an in-person event, but I also appreciate the virtual shower event. So this is some highlights from the TUDiki Shower event. We've been having this event for the past 2 years. Our first event was in 2018, and it was in Zimbabwe. And these are some of the highlights. All right, so those were some of the highlights. So it's usually a fun event packed with lots of information. We have lots of resources in Zimbabwe, and this year is going to be virtual. So we still have those resources that we're going to be sharing with you. And we have a lot of speakers this week all lined up. We're going to start today with the mothers, and our topic for today is motherhood. Tomorrow we'll be feeding and nutrition with our local experts, Melissa and Katinka. And we also have Marcia calling in from Canada. She's an expert when it comes to meal prep. We have all these moms. On Wednesday, we're gonna be meeting our doctors. We have 3 doctors on the lineup. Thursday is going to be our beauty, wellness, and health segment. So tune in for that. And on Friday, I think this is going to be my favorite. It's called Fatherhood. A lot of times the fathers are excluded from a baby shower event, but we have some really good dads in Zimbabwe that are going to be sharing their fatherhood journey and just giving you tips on how to be supportive to your wife, how to be a good dad, and all that good stuff. And of course, we have lots of prize giveaways from our sponsors. We have Katinka Breastfeeding. A lot of you know her. We have Mwanangu Mtanami. She's a blogger. You're going to be meeting her. Samsara. She makes African clothing for both kids and baby. We have Rudo Maternity Wear, Tapira Skincare, Run Walk for Life, so you can keep fit and healthy during your pregnancy journey. Sana Hair for children. We have photography, and we have Sage Restorative. So it's going to be exciting. And in order for you to win, you have to be present. So we're going to make this very interactive, and it's going to be fun. So without further ado, I am going to have my panelists introduce themselves. And we can start with Yeve.
Oh, there we go. Hi, everyone. Somehow I knew you were going to choose me first, putting me on the spot. Hi, everyone. I'm Yeve Chitigasbanda. I am based in the U.S. and Maryland. I am 9 to 5, and I'm an attorney in D.C., but I'm also an author, a speaker, a wife, and a mom. And I actually just text Shingi right now that I want to give away a copy of my book as part of the giveaways. It's not out yet, but it's called My First Book of Shonandibele Words, to help start the journey to learning our 2 main native languages in Zimbabwe. So I'd love to do that. And I'm so excited to be here. Thanks a lot, Shingi.
Thank you, Yeve. I'll move on to Chipo Amai Veneka, Dr. Amai Veneka.
Hi. Yeah, so I've changed my name officially. I love going by Amai Veneka. It's new and it's fun, and I love exploring with that. So my name is Dr. Chipo Dendere. I'm a professor at Wellesley College, and I should just plug in that our school has educated some of the finest women in the world. Hillary Clinton was a student here in my department in political science. So if you've got little girls, tell them we want them to come to Wellesley College. I write, I speak, my work is on politics mostly, but I've also started doing some work on motherhood, especially for mothers in the diaspora, and figuring out Black motherhood, because it's tough. It's exciting, but it is tough. So trying to figure out all of that. Thank you, Shingi, for having me, and thank you for all the good work that you do with TUDiki. And I feel like Trendy needs to give something for the giveaway. So I'm going to think about it and decide what we're going to give to people in Zim from Trendy. Kind of my business partner is probably wondering what I'm doing right now, but I think we'll give some ladies some perfume or some lotion or something. I'll come back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Next, we're gonna go to Rachel Amai Ari.
Hey, everybody. Oh my gosh, the pressure's on. I do not have any giveaways to think of yet, but my name is Rachel Chimbwanda or Mandigora. I'm a mother to Arikoishe. He's 14 months old. Professionally, I am in the digital and innovation space, mostly in financial services, but I'm a full-time mom right now, taking care of my little boy. And I'm so happy to be here, just sharing and, learning from you ladies. I'm very excited.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Next, we have Janet Sibanda, Amai Crystal Lee. She has two. You're on mute, Janet.
Unmute, right. Hi, everyone. I am Janet, and Amai Crystal Lee or my Troy Joshua. I am I'm a blogger. I write, and I also coordinate for other people to come and share their stories and experiences on my site. And we also have professionals, experts come in with insights, just like what's happening with the TUDiki shower. And professionally, I've been a monitoring and evaluation specialist, and just excited to be here. The only giveaway I can give is to invite people to come in and share their own personal stories, because we're ready and willing to hear what people have to share. So that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Janet. And last but certainly not least is Mike Kandemiri, Auntie Porshi, and she's given me permission to call her our off-layer. She has a wealth of information. So Auntie Porshi, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, my dears, thank you so much. This is really, really great. I'm so glad to be part of this, and being, the not so young mom, but young in heart. And with the last born, we turned 24 in September. I've lived in this hot kitchen for the longest, and I haven't quit yet. So, which means the kitchen is a good thing. And I'm so excited to be part of the panelists. And I'll advise as much as I can, though my advice is from once upon a time, but advice is advice. You take what what you see as good and leave what you don't like. For the most part, a mom is a mom, a wife is a wife, an aunt is an aunt, and life goes on. Thanks, Shingi.
All right, so we have a lot of interesting names, and I've heard of the new age Shona names. I don't know what happened to the Josphats. No one names their kids that anymore. What happened to the Love Moors? It looks like we have really cool names. We have Minana, my Minana. We have Veneka Lexi. We have Ari Koishe. We have Crystal. I guess my Kademiri has the old age names. Anata Piwa. So tell us, what's in a name? How did you name your child? Who's responsible for naming the child? I know a lot, in some families, the mother-in-law names the child and you're probably not happy about that. Or your husband wants to give your son his grandfather's name and that becomes an issue. How do you come up with these names? And what's a good name? We can start with Rachel, because I love Arikweche, my little nephew.
Well, thank you for this question. It's a great question. I think, the way I came up with the name, I just realized that you can be innovative. It doesn't need to be like a traditional name, so to speak, right? You can make up a name if you want to. And that's sort of where we came with Arikoishe from. He also has a second name as well, named after my dad, who had just passed away a few months before he was born. So I guess that's keeping in line with tradition where people name their kids after someone important to them. But for the name Arikoishe, it really means a lot to us. And we just made it up on the spot. But there are some Arikos out there, but Arikoishe as one name, I had never heard of it before. So I think, I just realized that you can innovate and you can play around. It doesn't need to be the traditional Tapiwas and Tinashes and Tindais, even though they're very beautiful names. I'm just so glad that our generation is flexible on, naming kids.
Okay, all right. And we have Minnie. She goes by Minnie, but it's Minana. That's such a beautiful name. And sometimes some of these names they have a story behind them. What's your story, Yeve?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. I think like Rachel, we wanted to give a meaningful name. Minana means wondrous things, miracle. And her middle name is Njabulo. And she is Shona and she's Ndebele. My husband is half Shona, half Ndebele. I'm Shona. So we wanted a name that was representative of our cultures. We knew that we wanted to give her native Shona and Ndebele names. We didn't want her to have an English name. My name is Yevedzo, and that is a very unique name, even in Shona. And so we wanted her to have a unique name as well. And I think really the story behind it is one, we were just so overjoyed and thrilled to have this baby. We were newlyweds when we had her, and we were just, even now, just in awe of God for blessing us with this child. And then Jabulo means joy, happiness. My middle name is Rufaro. My husband's middle name is Jabulo. And so she's named after both of us, named after her dad, exactly the same name, but named after me as well. So the three of us all have the same name, and we just thought that was kind of cool and different. And so, yeah, that's kind of our story. We wanted something that had meaning, and that reflected how we felt about her being in our lives.
That's awesome. Has anyone maybe ever felt pressure to name their child somebody that they didn't feel comfortable with? And, how did you respond to that situation? Or maybe Auntie Portia could shed some light on you know, grandmothers naming their children's name and some of the controversies that can arise from that.
Okay, no problem. As you rightfully said, the names that we gave to our kids are different from the names that the young generation is giving to their kids. When we gave our kids these names like Tapiwa, Tariro, Tinashe, etc., I think that was the time when young people were changing, being more, you know, like going back to their roots vis-a-vis our parents. Because my name is Portia. I don't even know what it means, except that my father borrowed it from Shakespeare, and Portia was the wife of Bassanio. But when I had my only children, we decided to give them Shona names. It was that time when we were starting out. And also that time, most people, especially the firstborn, you know, it would be like you and your husband, or you have a name. Mother-in-law has a name. Father-in-law has a name. The wife's parents had names too. So you sort of like had to come to a compromise. But for the most part, especially our parents' generation, they would love the English names. Like my daughters, they've got English names too, like Tapiwa, she's Abigail. Tariro is Audrey. But because we wanted to give them Shona names, we put those English names as middle names. It was what was happening at that time. And I'm glad that the young generation are sort of like trending, giving names that are, you know, like more trendy than our traditional ones. But I know way probably before me, maybe like during when my mother gave birth to me, my grandmother or my grandfather would have also wanted to name me, but probably they couldn't because my parents wanted English names. And you know, with English at times, back then, English was lacquer. You wouldn't want to call your child Shingirai. You probably wanted to call her maybe Alexandra. That sounded more modern and more, you know, like up to date.
Okay, all right.
But, okay, yeah.
Interesting take. So I just wanted to break the ice and just find the meaning and understand, you know, you're all excited, you have a story behind it, and everyone is excited. So there's a lot in a name. And in Shona means that so they're all beautiful names. All right, so I'm gonna go into maybe what we're all wanting to hear, your pregnancy journeys. And as Zimbabweans or people who have an affiliation with Zimbabwe, there's a lot of advice out there. Everyone is an expert on parenting. Anyone who's given birth thinks their way is the best. So what was the best pregnancy or parenting advice that you ever received? Because Auntie Portia, you've probably forgotten your pregnancy journey. And what was the worst piece of pregnancy advice that you say, you know what, I'm not going to do this?
I'll jump in with the best advice I got, and that was to just really focus on peace, joy, happiness, just calm, because your baby feels what you're feeling. And so it was hard to do at times, but I really tried to remember that. I don't remember who told me. I think a number of people did that, you know, just try and maintain a calm environment and, you know, use that time to kind of de-stress, unwind, don't, you know, get into drama and all of that, because you don't want to bring that onto your child. And I think, I don't know if I remember the worst pregnancy advice, but I do remember the worst thing someone ever said to me when I was pregnant, and that is, "Oh, are you carrying twins? What twins did I?" You know?
That wasn't me.
And, you know, I politely told this person, "No, I'm not carrying twins." I had a response back to them. I won't share that here. But, you know, basically trying to kind of like fat shame me or whatever, because I was 8-9 months pregnant and my belly was big, you know? And so I corrected that person and said, no, you don't talk about a woman's weight or body, period, but especially when she's pregnant. Like, every pregnancy is different, every belly looks different, you know? And so that has to be the worst kind of comment I received. So I guess the advice there is, don't comment on a woman's body, especially when she's pregnant. There's just no need.
All right, so peace, maintaining a peaceful space for yourself, and that's also going to be talked about a lot in our Thursday session on wellness and health. So be sure to tune into that. Anything else? What was the best part of your best piece of pregnancy advice, Janet? Do you have something or
Yeah,
your
I do.
parenting advice?
I've got them on two levels, right? So from the pregnancy side of it, someone said to me just about the time that I found out I was pregnant, buy Palmer's tummy butter. That stuff will save your tummy. And then I was like, okay, so when do I start using it? And she said, now, like yesterday, go and get it now. You know, so with my first pregnancy, it was the best. I did not have a single stretch mark, and I looked at myself and I was like, wow, this woman was amazing. So naturally, when I got pregnant the second time, that was the first thing I looked for. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it, but I found another alternative, and well, the damage is not as bad. So that's the best piece of advice I got when I was pregnant, and I would advise anybody to do the same. Look for something that will help, you know, moisturize your tummy so you don't get stretch marks. And then on parenting advice, I had a baby shower, and the one thing that someone said to me was relating to communication and education. They said everything that you expose your child to is what they'll become, you know, so you need to be conscious about what you want to impart into your child, so much that from the moment that they're in your tummy, you already start doing it, you know. So if you're singing, if you're reading, if church is your thing, you know, you just start bringing the environment into your child's life so that it'll always be a part of who they are. Peace I could not maintain, unfortunately, because I had a tumultuous pregnancy. But at least of those things that I had around my kids, you know, it brought that thing up, because, you know, with my daughter, my firstborn, I would always talk to her as if like we're talking right now. And it was amazing. By the time that she was 6 months, you know, when we were having our bath time routine, I said to her, oh, lift up your hands so I can take off your top. And, you know, the little hands went right up. And I was like, wow, this child is communicating. So, yeah, those were the two pieces of advice that I will definitely perpetuate and go on to share and share and share with other people. They were amazing for me.
That's interesting, Janet. So the baby talk, you don't have to do baby talk. You can just
Not
talk
at
like a
all.
normal person. So the baby
Normal person.
Okay.
So the interesting thing is, by the time that she was 8 months old, that's when the first words came out, and the first words were socks, shoes, thank you,
Not
kisses,
mom, not
you
dad.
know? Yeah, and they all came out like one time. So it was awesome.
Wow, interesting, interesting. Maya Ariko, can you share your experience, the good and the bad?
So the best advice I received was raise the baby you have, not the baby you want, in the sense that we all want to have like a Serena Williams or like a Trevor Noah as a kid, but sometimes, and we want to live vicariously through our kids, like achieving dreams that we were not able to achieve ourselves. We want our kids to be doctors if we're not doctors, but, you know, let them choose their lives, let them choose who they want to be, and just help them achieve those goals. In terms of the worst advice, I wouldn't say it was bad, but I don't think it's actually true that it gets better. So in the early days, you know, as any new mom will tell you, you're very sleep deprived, and then everyone tells you, oh my gosh, it gets better, it gets better. But as they grow older, you have a different set of concerns. You're probably getting more sleep in, but you're worried more. Like my son is very mobile right now. He walks around, he gets into everything, and I'm just very worried about what he can get into, if he'll hurt himself and all that stuff. Now, I miss the days where you just leave him on the couch or in his chair and you'll find him right there, right back, you know, after 5-10 minutes. But now if you turn your back, like for 30 seconds, he'll cause some damage. Like he'll throw stuff around, you know, break things. So it's not better, but it's different. I think, you know, that's one thing out correct, that it doesn't necessarily get easier, but it gets, you know, the different phases have different challenges. Yeah.
I think that's right, Rachel. And I feel like, you know, it's not even that it gets easier or whatever, like you're saying. I think, you know, you have more wisdom, and with that wisdom, you're able to apply it, you know, in a different way. So you know your child's sleep schedule, you know your child's eating habits, you know their character, you know their personality more, right? And so that helps inform the decisions. But like you said, every single stage has its challenges. I have a 2-year-old going on 18. And, you know, it's hard to work from home with a child that age who, you know, like you said, you can't leave them. You have to entertain, you have to, you know, and so, yeah, with more wisdom, you can kind of do different things. But it's definitely, every stage has challenges. And I'm sure that's the case until probably forever, until Portia can tell us this, you know, so I think that's a good point.
Hi. So just to jump in, and I love all of these things because I think I'm the newbie at this. Veneka is only 4 months old, even though she's so chunky and she looks ancient, like a little old person. We love her.
She looks ancient.
She's like a little old person. It just got this.
Oh my gosh! You know this is going to be on video on the cloud forever.
I know, and but you know, she knows that her mom's such a comedian, and I think she's picked up on that because she's a comedian herself. She's always making us laugh, and at the daycare, which is just a minute away, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. They say that she sings because, you know, I sing a lot to her, and we sing in the house. Although my husband says we make noise, so she's definitely like screaming and singing. But I wanted to come back to names and say something that might be a little bit controversial. The advice that I got was from my students. So when I was pregnant, I had this whole cohort of students come to my office. Most of them are first-gen African students, so their parents came here and then they were born here. There were also international students. So then they flood my office. They're like, "Professor, we have to talk to you." And you know how college students are, you know they have something to say. And I said, "Well, what's the issue?" They said, "We want to see your list of names for the baby." And I said, "Well, I don't have a list of names. Tell me what you want to tell me." And they said, "We think, you know, based on our experiences." So I have students whose parents are Nigerian, South African, you know, from all over the world, both at Amherst and at Wellesley, because our student body is very diverse. And they said, you have to think about how that name is going to make your child feel in middle school and high school. Because if you're in America, kids here are very cruel. And at first, you know, I was quick to dismiss it and think, well, you know, I want to give a kid a name that means something to me. And they came back again and they said, "You're sounding like our parents. You are going to be raising an American kid. And you are you, but they're going to be in middle school with kids that we went to school with." And so I took some time to listen to their experiences, for them to talk to me about the challenges that they had faced in terms of how teachers would mispronounce their names, how people made them feel. And I didn't want to make them feel bad. And I wanted to take that under advisement. And so we did, you know, and I sat down for a long time to think about the life that I want this kid to have as an educator, you know, understanding that the names that we give kids, it's permanent, right? She's going to have this name for a very long time. So that's sort of where I came from. And then, like everybody else, I also wanted a name that would exude joy. One of the things I thought about a lot is I want a name that if you say it, you have to smile. Like, I don't think you could say Veneka with a frown. I think it's impossible to say Lexi with a frown. You have to smile, right? And so that's what I wanted for my kid. And just in terms of family politics of it. So my mother and I were very close. And I think part of it is because she named me Chibo, and she's very protective. You know, I'm her gift. She's very, this is my gift. This is my kid. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But it also meant that she wanted to name her grandchild. This is her 10th grandchild and her last grandchild. Well, I don't know what my sisters are. I'm done. So this is her grandchild, and she wanted to name this grandchild, and it was really, really important to her. And we're very, very close. And so the only way I got out of it was that we didn't find out the sex of the baby until she was born. And I had to navigate that with my mom because she really, really wanted to name this child. And, but once she had the name, my mom, she's so in love with the name. I don't know what my in-laws felt because, there's I don't know how many thousands of miles between Harare and Boston and Wellesley. So we didn't have that conversation, but I'm sure they also wanted to be a part of it. So I think instead of ignoring that our family members want to be a part of this, it might be helpful just to have a conversation with them, right? Of why we're choosing to name our kids. And I kept going back to my mom and saying, you gave me my name, and this was really important to you, and you're really happy with the name you gave me. So I want to do the same. And then I hope we reached an understanding. I don't know.
All right, that's really interesting, Chipo. You talked about that. You want names that don't burden your children. That's also something to always think about. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, I'm going to just transition a little bit from your experiences, the best and worst pieces of advice that you got. We have an amazing panel here of professional women. Rachel just said she's taking a break so she can be a full-time mom. How do you balance? How does getting pregnant, what have your experiences been? Getting pregnant, trying to get back into the workforce, what are some of the decisions you've had to make? Do you feel like you've had to compromise and choose your baby, and you feel maybe that your husband doesn't have to go through the same thought process? Am I going to be a stay-at-home mom or pursue my career, or am I going to be able to balance it? And I have a picture here. Let me see if I can share it. Well, I'll let Yeve speak on that before I move on to Chipo, so you can prepare. Work-life balance, being a mom, trying to climb up the corporate ladder. I know, Yeve, you're a lawyer and you're an author. You're trying to do it all. You have something going on Facebook, on Instagram. You're writing the book, all that stuff going on, and you're still able to raise little Minnie without feeling guilty that, you're pursuing your own dreams. Can you just share and maybe educate and inspire other mothers on how they can do it? And then we'll end with Rachel and anybody else who wants to contribute, since Rachel decided to take a break from work to be a full-time mom.
Wow, this one is loaded, Shingi. We don't even have enough time. It could be its own panel, but I will just correct one thing you said. You said, without feeling guilty. I feel guilt all the time. Mom guilt is real. And mom guilt started for me probably 2 days after my child was born. She was born on a Friday. And of course, during pregnancy, well, for me, I didn't have any sushi, but I really was craving sushi. And the Sunday, 2 days later, I left her with her dad and went to grab sushi with my mom. And the whole time I was eating sushi, and this was, like I said, 2 days after she was born, and we were only gone for an hour. I felt so guilty. I felt like such a bad mom for leaving my child for that long. And what if she needed something, and all of that. So that was my first kind of taste of mom guilt. And my mom tells me it never goes away. And then after I returned to work, I took a year out from working because I just wasn't ready. I didn't feel ready. And, I did have thoughts about, hey, maybe I'll just quit my job and be a stay-at-home mom or whatever. But ultimately I decided to go back. And once I went back, even though my daughter was in a daycare in the same building as me, when I dropped her off for the longest time, I felt guilty. I felt guilty for leaving her, even though I knew she was in good hands. She was in the same building with me, guys, same building. I felt super guilty about not being with her. And I got advice from people who said, listen, you're working for her. You're working for yourself, because, those are things that you chose to do, and you're still who you are, even though you're her mom. And when you show up as your best version, that's only going to be helpful for her. And you are her first role model, right? She can see a working mom, a mom who is, like you said, doing all these things and know that it's possible for her. And I think one thing that happens when you're a mom, at least for me, is I had a really hard time, I guess, reclaiming who I was and my identity. You know, in our culture, you become my minana, my veneka, my ari. You know, your identity is tied to your child, right? Very much so. And I think it's important for moms to just remember that you were a whole person before you had this child. You had interests and hobbies. You maybe had a career, and it's okay to pursue those things. You were a wife, a partner, whatever, right? It's okay to pursue those things in conjunction with fulfilling your role as a mom. In fact, I think it's necessary to fulfill that, because again, when you bring your whole self to the table, that only helps, you know, your dynamic as a mom. And I think for me anyway, since going back to work, I've become, I think, a better mom, because now I know that, listen, you know, I have X amount of time with my daughter. Of course, now with the pandemic, we're all home together, but, you know, I have X amount of time with my daughter. I need to make it count. And while I'm at work, I'm efficient because I'm going back to my daughter, you know. And so I think actually having all these things I need to juggle has been good for me in the sense of prioritizing what I'm doing. And so I just want to encourage, you know, other moms out there that it's okay to kind of reclaim who you are. It's okay to, you know, want to take breaks, to do things for yourself and your own thing, because work-life balance, in my view, does not exist. There is no such thing as work-life balance. There is no balance. It is impossible unless, you know, I don't know, you have a job that involves working with your child and they're always there with you, but there is no work-life balance. I think one thing is always going to have to give. Sometimes it's work, sometimes it's the family life. And so that's just what I will share, and let others share and can jump in later.
All right, thanks.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Auntie Portia.
Okay, what I just wanted to say was that the way we raised our kids and the way you are raising your kids, you young ones, is different. Because for us, we had a lot of help. You could turn to the village to help you raise the child. But for the young ones, because, for example, if you're in the diaspora where you are the mother, the maid, the cook, you go to work, you do everything, it's really hard. So it's very important for you to also, within that framework, create some time for yourself. You have some me time so that you remain sane. Otherwise, taking care of a child is like a 24-hour job. You are on the clock all the time. If you don't give yourself time, you will lose it. And like, let's say in our cases, whereby mother-in-law would come from the village, stay with us until the child is about 8, 12 months. All this time we'll be having all your only time, you can do whatever you want to do. So we had plenty of time to remain, you know, like sane. So I'd like to encourage you to do the same, so that at least, you know, like you don't go cuckoo.
And I'd like to share a comment from Facebook. This is Shelter Hlomani Diamond. The best advice that she received was to ask for help and just take each day as it comes, and to look after her mental health. That's an important topic, like I said, that we're going to be talking about on Tuesday, especially because postpartum is real. So that's something that's coming up. So be sure to tune in. And for those that are just joining us, I would like to just quickly reintroduce you to our speakers. Let me share my screen so you can see them again, because I know they've all been talking. So these are our speakers for today. We have Janet Sibanda. She's a blogger at Mwanangu Mtanami. Chipodendere Maizeneka. She's a professor. Yeve Sibanda, she's a mom to many. She's an author, and she says there's no work-life balance. I thought I always strive for work-life balance. I guess you've nailed it. There is no such thing when you become a mom. Rachel Mandigora, my Ari, and Auntie Portia, our resident expert, and she's going to be giving us some tips here and there. And before I move on to Chipo, I just want to share this. This is Chipo. While we're on work-life balance, This was a tweet. So Chipo is always on interview panels, speaking to different people, and Vineka started crying. This was live on a Zoom, just like this. She grabbed her baby, her maternal she was actually on SABC. So whilst on SABC, young US-based Professor Chipo Dendere had to take care of her crying baby with one hand whilst fixing the country with intelligent punches with the with the other hand. She had great insights on how disconnected our politics is from our reality. So Chipo shed some light on your reality. You know, just this picture, because I feel like a lot of us feel the pressure that they cannot be both mom and
You have to put the picture up because it wasn't there. If you
oh, it
want.
wasn't that? Oh, okay. Let me put it up. Let me put it up. Sorry. Let me put it up.
I want to see that one.
Oh, okay. Can you see it now?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good job.
So this
Love it.
was SABC. She was being interviewed, but she, you know, her maternal instinct took over, and she brought the baby on. So how do you feel about, you know, just one of the things I've heard Michelle Obama say when she became a mom, she, at every job that she went to interview, she would take her job because she told them, this is part of me, this is my package. The kids come with me, and just because I want flexibility at work doesn't mean that I'm working part-time. I'm going to be paid full-time, and it's just you have to demand your worth. How do you do it, and how do you navigate being a professional and still be able to be a good mom to your kids?
That's nice. I think I'm a good mom. I hope she'll feel that way. You know, I also read a lot of Michelle Obama, and I've been reading a lot from other women. And I think the first step is to embrace that our lives have changed, that my life has completely changed, you know, in wonderful ways, but as Auntie Popo also said, in ways that can make you go crazy. So that was the first thing, right? Acknowledging that my life has changed. And I think in the slide that I sent you, there are a couple of things that I did when we first decided that we were going to have a baby, and knowing that yeah, you can share it. And knowing that we're in the diaspora, that was number one for me, but also thinking about the financial cost. So one of the things that I don't want somebody who's at home to take away from this is that, oh, you know, all these ladies are able to just take time away from work. I want to acknowledge that there is a financial cost for everybody, whether you're in the diaspora or you're back in Zim, right? So that was something else that I was thinking about. How are we going to manage this? If you just go to the next slide, or we can do slide number 3, since we all know the various hardships that are involved. So I did a lot of research because it is, you know, the nature of my work to do research, figure out what were the resources that were available for me at work. And like some people, I had a pregnancy that was fairly easy, but I had something called sciatica, and maybe you'll talk about this when you talk about wellness, where it made it really difficult for me to walk sometimes. So I needed to know what resources were available for me during pregnancy, because I think motherhood starts during pregnancy. Your body's already changing, your life is already changing. So I talked to my department chair and asked, and the question that she asked me was, what do you need? So the first thing is to figure out, who are your allies at work? Are these people willing to stand up for you and to give you what you need? It could be as simple as a different chair, right? So I needed to sit while I was teaching, because I was teaching 3-hour classes. So I needed a kind of chair that would support me. I needed different parking. You might need, you know, different work hours if you've got really bad nausea, if you've got hospital appointments. So figuring out who those allies are at work. And in order to have a good ask, so before you go to your management, whoever is in management at work, you need to write down, and I think this is really important, write down everything that you think you need. Ask other moms, you know, what will it take for me to be successful at work? Write it down and then ask. And sometimes the worst thing that they can say is no, but if they do say no, then now you're in a place to figure out how to make it work, you know, even if they do say no. And then I started building my support network early. And unfortunately, because of COVID, my mom couldn't come, we can't have friends over. So our life is completely different. I think giving birth during COVID was just one ride. You know, we were in labor for 26 hours and we had to wear masks the whole time. No one could come to the house to help us. There was just, so it's different, but building that support network. And how does it look different? So the people at our church had a meal train for us where people could socially distance, drop off things. We had a baby shower where our friends gifted us most of the things that we needed. In the picture that they showed earlier, I'm using this Nuna body carrier, which is really good if you have any kind of back issues. So it's a little pricey, but you know, thanks to the baby shower, I was able to get that. So getting your network in space to help you. And what I've discovered is that women are ready to help, and we get excited to help each other. So even if you don't know me, but you're seeing me today, if you're expecting, if you start to run into issues, I'll do for you what others did for me. A good friend of mine is going to talk. She's a doctor. And what she said to me was, Chipo, if you need to text somebody at midnight, I might not respond, but just text me. Just know that there is somebody else that you can text. And then I did something that's a little bit controversial, but I'm going to share it because, oh well, I'm on maternity leave until February, and Veneka arrived in June. And so most of our family expected that I would be at home with the baby the whole time. And I did too. But you know, I changed that a little bit and we decided to have it in daycare whilst I'm at home. And the reason is because I needed to sleep. I couldn't sleep and I needed to sleep. And so I sent it to daycare for a couple of hours every other day. And that's been my sanity, you know, and it's not everybody's choice, but get help. And I think on the PowerPoint, which we'll share later, I say, get help, delegate. I delegate to my husband. We're partners. He's a great, great dad. But I'll say to him, I need you to do this for me. Because he can't read my mind. You know, he doesn't know what I need when I need it. So I've got to verbalize and say, please do this for me. And I delegate at work. I have research assistants. I'm sending them stuff to do. And finally, accept the help when it comes. It's going to come in different ways. Accept it. If the help is me getting you a laundry service, accept it. If, you know, I had a friend send us a cleaning service. So we've got somebody who comes to clean every couple of weeks. And at first I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad about this. But there is nothing better than walking into a house that somebody else cleaned and you didn't do it. So accept the help and delegate.
And I feel like, you know, we've talked about this with my friends. I feel like the way we were raised, the way Anamai Kandemiri raised us, you have to be able to do everything. You have to be able to clean. You have to be able to cook, to take care of your baby. You have to be carrying your baby, kissing your husband, making love to him. You have to be able to work. You have to, as a woman. So sometimes you feel guilty delegating. And I know one of my friends is smiling. Her name's Heather. She's she's a clean freak. So she's going, we'll see what happens when she has her 4 kids. You know, will she be able to manage and keep her house spick and span? So some of these things you have to learn to accept the help, like Chipo is saying. Rachel, you decided to completely take off work. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're going to be behind when you try to rejoin the workforce? What's your thought process in deciding to be a full-time mom?
So I have to caveat that by saying it was 50% my choice, but also 50% COVID, right? I was supposed to go back to work in April, and then that was the height of things. And we're not sure what this thing was, how long it was going to go on for. So, you know, from then I just decided to take some time. But then I've been trying to get my son into daycare, but I just haven't been able to find a daycare that will take him at his age, because all the daycares around are not taking like young toddlers. They're taking 2-year-olds and above. So he's at that, you know, weird age where daycares that are, you know, operating at 50% capacity are not prioritizing very small children. But I have an interview with another daycare later on this afternoon, so I hope he gets in and I can get back to work. In terms of feeling left out or left behind, I don't think that I will be that behind, to be honest, because I've actually been consulting like remotely for startups and, you know, volunteering here and there for organizations that need like digital strategy help. So I won't be left behind as much. It's just that, you know, we've had this situation with COVID where daycare situation and childcare has been a problem. And like everyone here has said, especially here in the diaspora, it's a little difficult. You don't have, you know, the family and like lots of friends around to help. And also COVID just complicated things. You can't bring people in to come and care for the baby. So it's just made things a little tricky for us. But hopefully in the near future, I'll be getting back, you know, to work, so.
Okay, I'm going to take a little bit, not an official break, before we get into, you know, a lot of people have been talking about COVID, and we'll start with Janet in our next segment, just so she can share some insights on the challenges that COVID has brought about and some of the things you've had to, how your lives have changed in terms of your parenting and just your kids. I've heard that COVID babies are antisocial. They don't know people, so. And it's just been a weird situation, just a weird time. The parents are stressed out, the kids are stressed out, but you know, it's a baby shower event, and I would like to share with you. So TUDiki, again, my name is Shingi. I'm the owner of and founder of TUDiki, and I would like to share how we can help you as TUDiki. And I know this is something that's not readily available yet in Zim, but I would also like to show you, Chipo mentioned, accept the help. Accept the help that TUDiki is offering you in terms of getting yourself ready for your new bundle of joy. I'm just going to share my screen and redirect you to our website. Just give me 1 second. So you can just see some of the things we have at the store, because some people have not heard of us yet. We have 2 locations. We're located at Broadwell Village Walk. We just opened in September, but we've had our Westgate store now for 3 years now. So we have a baby shower registry, and okay, there we go. So this is our website. Can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the TUDiki website. During COVID, this has actually proven to be a handy tool. You can actually shop online and we'll deliver to your house. So our website is tudiki.com. You just go on here and you start shopping by category. We have everything organized for you. So we're very, very helpful. Accept the help. One of the cool things I like about our website that we're introducing to the Zim kids and baby space is a baby shower registry, where you get to register the type of gifts that you want. So this is our website, and all you have to do is register your account. You add the items that you want and you share it with your friends. And what this does, you just treat it like once you've created the account, you start shopping for the clothes that you want for your baby. So I like girls. I'm hoping to have a girl. So I always shop for girls' clothing. So for example, if you're going to be shopping for this 2-piece jumper, you just go on our website. We have a lot of things that you can shop for your baby shower registry, so people can gift you. So that's the type of help that you want people, because Chipo is going to talk about the finances. One of the ways to save on baby clothing is having a baby shower, baby items, not just clothing, it's having a baby shower. So what you do is you add your item to the registry. I haven't created my account, but it'll allow you to add to the registry, and anything that you add to the registry, you don't have to purchase. You send it to your rich friends and your family so that they can buy it for you. And under feeding and nursery, we have some really cool items here that are all available at our locations, or you can just check out online. We have, Phillips Event is a really good brand. We have Newbie. It's a really good brand, but very inexpensive compared to your Tommy TPs and the Phillips Events. So all that stuff you can add to your cart, or you can add to your gift registry, and it will ask you to name your your baby shower registry. It will be, you know, Rachel and Manny's baby shower, and you're able to send it to your friends and they'll be able to purchase it from here. And the new thing that we just introduced, especially for those in the diaspora, we now have TUDiki gift cards. So you can go on our website. They're not available yet. They're coming in November, but I actually have them here. You'll be able to buy gift cards for your friends and family. So if someone's expecting, I always have a lot of people saying, oh, my sister's just gave birth, I need to get her something. You can just get her a TUDiki gift card and she can pick it up and shop anytime that she wants at our shop. So this is just something that we do at TUDiki. And if you're just joining us, you're also able to ask any questions. We will be giving a prize giveaway. So you have to be active and making comments. It will be a random, so I don't know any people, so there's no favoritism. I'll just pick a name from people who are on the panel. We have lots of giveaways. A lot of sponsors have donated prizes. And one of the things that I'm really happy about, it's not quite ready yet, and this was a great suggestion from one of our moms, Rachel. We're going to be giving away hampers to moms in need, especially during this COVID time. A lot of people have been laid off work. They cannot afford, and it's not, before it used to be rural Zimbabwe is where we send stuff, but there's actually a lot of poverty in the cities. People are not able to afford a lot of things. So we'll be giving away hampers to those in need. As the week progresses, I'll be sharing more information on that. So if you'd like to donate to that cause, Zoom actually has a donation tool where you can donate, and I'll be sharing more of that information with everyone who'll be joining. So as I said at the beginning, it's a week-long event. We just opened this event with the moms just so we can ease into the rest of the activities we have planned out for the week. Tomorrow we're going to have our feeding and nutrition panel with Katinka. Molifia, she's a dietitian with the Ministry of Health. Marsha, she's a foodie. She's really good at meal preparation. And we'll have Rachel. She's going to be sharing her own experiences with breastfeeding and some of the challenges that she's had trying to nurse and feed baby Ari. So that's going to be exciting. And on Wednesday, it's going to be Meet the Doctors. We have Dr. Pawani, we have Dr. Tongona, we have Dr. Dinika. They're all experts in their field, and it's going to be really, really exciting. Thursday is our wellness day, and a lot of information has already been brought up here on why it's important to maintain your sanity as a mom. So you're not too stressed out. So you can only be the best mom if you're taking good care of yourself. So self-care is really important. And Friday, like I said, is fatherhood. A lot of people feel like their experiences with their fathers was when dad came, you'd all run. At least we would run away from his sofa that we've been sitting on all day. So far, we would all scurry away and make way for him. And you know, the only thing he asks you for is, do you need new shoes? You know, all that stuff. So we're gonna have fatherhood and see how fatherhood has changed. What are the new age dads into these days, and what advice are they going to be sharing for them to be also involved in this whole journey, because it's stressful enough on the mom, and having a loving and supportive partner is good. But we also have a lot of single parent household. We're not, you know, you don't have to have a man in your life to be a mom, to be a good mom. So we have a lot of single moms who've raised amazing babies. So kudos to them. But Friday is going to be for the dads. I think I've gone on and on. I'm going to transition now to Janet, just to share a bit about her COVID experience.
Cool. Thanks, Shingi. So COVID for me has been insane in so many ways. In the beginning, I thought I was superhuman, you know, oh, yay, people are at home. You have to manage 3 meals a day. We started at 3. we whittled down to 2 because it wasn't making sense, right? And then there was the school, you know, like my daughter was going to school on the internet and things like that. So we had to manage that process. And my son as well was getting workbooks. My daughter and son were getting workbooks from school. So I had to be teacher. You know, in the beginning, I thought before all of this happened, I would be a great, you know, homeschooler. But now I am convicted and I know for certain that it's not my thing. I cannot do it. And I have been saying my son is a dropout. He's 4, but he's a dropout because I just couldn't cope. It was too much. In between trying to manage the household, trying to manage my blog, my own sanity, and trying to get him to do his work, his school stuff, it was just not coming together. And, you know, taking from the conversation that we were having before about balance, work-life balance, there is none, you know. My friends say that my sleep patterns have become so awkward. Even Shingi knows that she can app me at 3 a.m. and I'll reply because a lot of those times I'm actually up. The blog keeps me very busy. But one of the things that was really, really distressing about COVID for me was my daughter got sick, you know, and she got sick in such a way that we couldn't figure it out. I mean, I wrote an article about it on my blog, which I called Heaven, I Need a Hug. And it was one of those things that we went through all the tests. Some we repeated, but we just couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. She'd say, Mommy, my back is sore, my side is sore. I can't lie on it, I can't sleep. You know, I would go to bed with that fear of wondering, will she be up tomorrow, you know? And it was so hard because going through the COVID situation, you can't really pinpoint, or you can't really access the services that you need to access because you're scared to go to the hospital. Hospitals are where sick people go to, you know, and COVID was presenting in so many different ways, and you couldn't really, everybody who was sick would just go to the hospital. And then now, because we were getting different tests done at different places, you also then fear that if I go to this place, then what will happen, you know? And at some point they wanted to refer us to a person who tested for allergies. And then they were like, no, wait a minute, but he's also testing for COVID. So that's not safe, you know? So it was really difficult managing that. And, but throughout it all, there were things that I learned and there were things that I was able to hold on to. You know, like in the beginning when she told me that she wasn't well, my daughter can be a little bit melodramatic. So I thought she was faking it, but when I got to realize that there was something wrong, we had to act fast. And those are the things that I can then go ahead and share with the next person, that in as much as things are going wrong, you need to keep level-headed. You know, like what the ladies have been sharing throughout the course of this discussion. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, when things are not going okay, don't be afraid to ask for help. Reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, and tell them what you're going through, because you have to stay sane. Another thing is be vigilant and alert. You know, always be on your toes about what's going on with the kids. I've realized that they didn't get sick as much when they were going to school as they are now when they're at home. It's totally weird. And I don't know, it probably has something to do with the immunity, or maybe they're slouching too much, they're not playing enough, I don't know, but they didn't get sick as much. And another thing is always have a contingency fund. You know, it's easy to spend money because people are eating a lot, and they are, because they're at home, you know, so there's a lot of food being guzzled down, but have a contingency fund to prepare for those emergencies. You never know what you will need to access at what time. And another one is if you have medical aid, keep your subscriptions up to date. I know it can be hard right now because things are going, a lot of people lost their jobs and things like that, but if you can, keep your subscriptions up to date, because they will save you paying more than you need to. And also live each day like it's gonna be the last, you know, in the sense that I'm not saying that they're gonna, you know, die or anything, but don't wait for tomorrow to tell someone you love them. Do it now. When you have the chance, do it now. Anything can happen anytime, any day. And like I was saying, I would go to bed fearing that, will she make it through the night, you know? So you had to make all you could. You had to infuse all the hugs and the joys and the memories within that time that we're all conscious and awake. Yes, she's saying she saw here, she saw there, but manage it so that you're still able to have the laughs, the smiles, the kisses, and the hugs. And I also said, find a good distraction. Don't continuously think about it, because yes, it is apparent that the child is sick, but don't make it the foundation or the basis of your existence for every single day. Have moments in there where you're able to be distracted, and like I said, find joy within that space. For me, it was awesome that we have a great family doctor. So all the things that I was saying about fearing to go to the hospital and things like that, we could talk to our doctor and say, you know what, things are going crazy. Can we see you? And we were able to go and see her at her house, as opposed to seeing her at the hospital. And that worked for us. That made sense for us. And, you know, it allayed some of the fears that we were going through. And above all, prayer, you know. Prayer is, for me, the foundation, the basis, and the beginning and the end. And I can safely say, you know, she was sick for a good 4 or 5 months. We couldn't figure it out. But now here we are, we're in October. She's doing a whole lot better, and she's eating more than she was before. So that has been my experience with COVID in parenting. Yeah.
Thanks, Janet. And we have Kuzana Njuga on Facebook. And it's I'm not sure if Kuzana is a boy or a girl, just like Shingi. A lot of people think Shingi's a guy. So Kuzana, I'm sorry if you're a girl.
She's a woman. She's my aunt, and she's a nurse.
Okay. So Auntie Kuzanai, she says, COVID-19 has been very awful. I feel guilty when I get home and have to take a shower, changing uniforms and all while my baby's crying for me to just hold her. Always worried if you really have thoroughly washed your hands before holding your baby. So I think everyone's been really scared. And it's scary, especially with the death toll. Now the numbers seem to be going up. So just continue practicing social distancing, washing your hands, using hand sanitizer. I know we all get exhausted staying indoors, but COVID is real. A lot of people have lost their lives, kids included. And at one time I tried to have a doctor speak on respiratory issues and COVID in kids, and they were not comfortable, you know, speaking on that subject matter because there's not enough information and enough information out there on how COVID is affecting kids and babies. So just do the best that you can, wash your hands, and you know, babies don't die from crying. But as long as you're safe and you love your baby and you're there for them, I think you're good. And then we also have Shota Flomani Diamond. As a mom with a 7-week-old baby, this has been really helpful. Thank you all to all the speakers. Yeah, they're very awesome and very good moms. Even though sometimes you may not feel like you're doing the best that you can, you're all really great moms. And then we have my good friend Trevor Shoniwa here. He said, what do you do if this is for the moms, if moms are not willing to ask for help? And then this is Trevor, I don't know what you, and then the second one, Trevor should join the dad session on Friday. You can really shed some light.
Wait, Shingi, no, that's actually a legitimate thing, right? Where people don't ask for help, either because they don't know that they can ask for help.
It's a 2-part question. So hold on.
Okay.
So he said, what do you do if the mom is not willing to ask for help? And then if they are a neat freak or just too paranoid to delegate. So moms, the dads are also saying the reason we're not active is you guys are too paranoid. You think I'll break the baby. I don't know. So I don't know if someone can shed some light. Chipo, you were talking, and then we'll go to
yes. So listen, don't wait for people who need help to ask for help, because sometimes people don't know what to ask for. Do what needs doing. So taking out the trash, it's not something that you need to ask to do, you know. Just do the things that haven't been done. So if you're looking around the house and you're seeing a pile of clothes that have been washed but haven't been put away, and they're obviously not going to put themselves away. Sorry, I'm very sensitive about this topic. I probably shouldn't say anything. Not because my husband is not amazing, but it's precisely...
Did you hear Chipo's language? You see the clothes. they're not going to put themselves away.
No. But you know, it's precisely because my husband is so wonderful that when I see other people's husbands who just don't seem to get it, I don't understand it. Like, I wish I could clone Trevor, right? And like loan him out to people, because what he does is,
careful what you say. Careful what you say, Chipo.
No. I don't mean to like give him away, but I mean like his personality, right? But what he does is, okay, hold on. He's also right here, right? So I have to like, you know, hype it up because he's right here. But what I'm saying is, oh my goodness, this crazy. What I'm saying is, what my husband does, which I find very helpful, is that he just works around me. Like, he doesn't ask me what I need. If there are dishes in the sink, he just does them. If I have the energy to redo them because I've got some thinking about how they should be done, then that's my business, right? If the baby needs a diaper changed and I'm sleeping, he doesn't wake me up to change the diaper. He just changes the diaper. If the baby is hungry, we always have milk in the refrigerator. He doesn't wake me up to ask me if the baby needs feeding. Clearly, it needs first. He just feeds the baby. So it just, okay.
And
Yeah.
Sorry, Rachel. Yewe is about to leave. Duty calls. So Yewe, before you leave, she has some insights on this.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in on this one. Thank you so much, Chipo, for sharing. And just say, you know, after I had my daughter, I wasn't diagnosed with postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety, but I know something was off, right? Like, if I went back and think about it, I'm sure it was one of those things, right? Because I can distinctly remember one time when my husband picked up our daughter, and my mind played tricks on me, and it looked like he had almost dropped her, and I was not okay. Like, I just started crying uncontrollably and was just like, oh my gosh, what if she had fallen, you know, and all of that. And so I think sometimes it's hard, right, for the moms to ask for help because they're going through so much. Like, you know, your mind is doing crazy things, you're sleep deprived, you could be, you know, the mom could be suffering from PPD or PPA. And so in addition to what Chipo is saying about, you know, just do the things, I think, you know, the dads and other people in the mom's life should be empowered also to seek help from, you know, when they go to the doctor, for example, ask the doctor, hey, this is what's happening at home. How do I navigate this? Our pediatrician was so helpful. And in our appointments, whenever we took our daughter, you know, for those weekly appointments, she would ask my husband, how is your, you know, wife doing? What is she doing, etc. Be on the lookout for this, be on the lookout for that. So sometimes it's hard to articulate, right? And that's a fair point. And so I don't think it's just on, you know, the mom to say, hey, I need help, or it's just on the dad to just like do the things, because you don't know what's going on, especially in those like first few months of postpartum. And so just to say, reach out to doctors, and, you know, other people in the close circle. And sometimes, you know, it might not even be about dishes. It might just be, hey, I've booked you a spa, or, you know, I'm going to watch the baby, you go for a walk, whatever, simple things like that, because sometimes it's just mental health that is, you know, challenging. And that's why, you know, your wife or your partner might be experiencing whatever it is. And with that, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Shingi, for having me on. Thank you, ladies on the panel. You guys are amazing. I've learned a lot. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And I look forward to the rest of the events this week. Thank you, TUDiki. You guys are doing an amazing job.
And Yewe, just share your social media pages so people can know about your book, My First Shona Ndebele Words.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll drop it in the chat, but it's Philisa Creatives, Philisa Creatives, on Instagram and on Twitter. And I'm Yeves Sisbanda on Instagram. And like I said, the book is coming out in a few months. I'm giving it away as part of TUDiki's giveaways. I'm going to give one copy away to someone whenever it comes out. And we're really just trying to teach our kids Shona and Ndebele. It's important that we preserve our cultures. It's important that we preserve our languages. And that's something I'm really passionate about. And I think someone else mentioned this earlier, but, you know, I love to talk to new moms or people who are expecting. I'm available. Even if we don't know each other, I'm happy to share and talk. So yeah, just want to say thank you, guys.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Thanks for joining. All right, so
I just wanted to add to
I wanted to add something too. Okay, after she's done.
go ahead, Rachel, and we'll have Auntie Portia.
So to Trevor, Shaniwa, I think there's something else that you could do. You could try to upskill yourself, especially in the domestic arena. Try to do better, really. Maybe you're just not good at cleaning really well. So learn how to do domestic chores. It's really important. It's not just the woman's job, it's also your job. And then also shout out to my friend Diana, who's expecting any day from now, but she's tuned in and she's excited. She loves like all the advice and everything that we're talking about. And anytime from now, she gets to give birth. So this is very apt. But anyway, over to you, Auntie Portia.
And while we're on there, I'm looking for anyone who's listening, who's expecting. My next giveaway in the next 5 minutes will be to an expecting mom. And it's going to be from Samsara. I will share her Instagram page right now. She does really nice kids African wear, and she also does maternity. Even when it doesn't have to be maternity, she does some exquisite stuff, African wear. So if you're expecting or know anyone who's expecting who's on this call, they need to be available to win. So just say, hey, I'm expecting, and we'll verify because we need to see your belly. We need to see your belly. But if you're like,
Chingy, what if they're adopting?
Oh yes, oh look, see, our professor is always calling us out. Okay, if you're adopting also, so we need, it's an honor system. You can't say, hey, I'm having a baby when you're not. So that's thank you, Chipo. We need to be sensitive, I should know. So if you're expecting or know anyone who's expecting who's on this call, I have a giveaway. They're giving away $60 worth of services so you can get your outfit made. They're really, really good. I'm going to share their link on here. And the second prize will be a cake for a baby shower from one of our bakers. They're giving a cake. And the last prize for today will be a photo shoot from not a photo shoot, I'm sorry. I take that back. I need to look at my vendor list. They didn't give away. I was about to give away a prize that doesn't exist. But go ahead, Auntie Portia. I'm going to just share my page after this.
Okay, no problem. What I was going to say about helping each other as a couple is our culture is taught us when, when you're growing up, that mom is a superwoman. She'll do everything, left, right, and center. So our fathers never learned to do the chores in the house. My father's only job was to go to work, come back home, sit on the sofa, read his paper until dinner was ready. So my brothers saw my daddy sitting on the couch, reading the paper and doing absolutely next to nothing. So when they got married, remember, mom's boy is always mom's boy. He remembers what he saw his father doing. So for him, it's a challenge because he has to learn. But remember, learning is perennial. It's baby steps. So you as the woman, the modern woman, who now knows better, who can teach better, you can teach your partner, your husband, to help you. If you don't teach them and assume that they're going to do it, they will not do it, because that's what they know, that a woman is supposed to do basically almost everything. And if you do it, you are killing yourself in the process without sharing or without making your husband or your boyfriend understand that you need help. Then secondly, they always say for the kids, catch them when they are young. Meaning that, remember with your children, culture is very important. If you wait to teach them the Shona words, the Ndebele words, when they are 4, 5, 6, you won't be able to run with it. Teach them when they are young, because their culture is the only thing that they have. They cannot be British, they cannot be American, they cannot be South Africans, they cannot be Tswanas, they can always be Zimbabweans. They might have a US passport, fine and fair, a British passport, excellent, but they will always be Zimbabweans. You don't want to call back to Zimbabwe when you're talking to your mom who probably doesn't understand English or who can speak very little, and you have to translate for your kids. It doesn't work that way. Teach them now, baby steps, how to say some basic Shona Ndebele words, so that, like when they speak to their grandfather, grandmother back in Zim, They might not be very fluent, but at least there is some effort. Thanks, Shingi.
Thank you. And this is where Yeve's book comes in handy.
Mm.
I'll probably get a copy for myself. I need to learn my first few Ndebele words. As grown as I am. But I've just been called out. Some people are saying, why is it just the pregnant women, you know? And later I'll also share my story. So everyone's calling me out. For Samsara, for the African attire, you don't have to be pregnant or expecting. So let me share my screen so you can see some of the awesome prizes that we have. I'm gonna share my screen and share the Instagram pages. Hold on. The prizes that we have. So like I said, we have Samsara, we have, okay. First of all, before I do that, I want to share, okay, so this is Samsara, and they are in Harare. You can follow their Instagram page, Samsara Zim. These are some of the outfits that they make, and you can get something like this for you and your little girl. They've given us a $60 coupon. So I'm going to, someone who writes something very interesting in the Facebook comments or on the page. And it's, you know, for all sizes, and it doesn't have to be African. She can do some really awesome maternity suit, maternity attires for you.
Does she do stuff for boys? Because you said something for you and your little girl. Boys' lives matter.
And boys' lives matter. Oh my goodness, boys' lives matter too. See, the moms become so defensive. and then our next prize comes from Cuteness Closet. She does these cute crochet creations. So this you have to have. You can re-gift it, but we're trying to give it to a new mom or an expecting mom. So just say something really cool. It's really easy to get a prize, guys. And this is Rudo maternity wear. This comes real handy, you know, when after you want your stomach to go back in. You know, like Chipo said, she's done. So Chipo, get this. Since you said Beneka is the last grandchild, you might as well get this one right now. So this is Rudo maternity wear. She's also based in Harare, and she has some really nice casual maternity, practical maternity clothing, and she's giving a special discount. So if you've won a prize, just inbox or send an email to sales@tudiki.com, or you can send us a message on Facebook on our Instagram page. So we have like 7 minutes left. Okay. So I'm going to read another comment. I caught on to the whole names thing with a new twist. Please keep your individuality by having people call you by your name and not your baby's name. It's cute to be a Maitari, but at some point it just does something to you. So there are two, you know, Chipo says she's proud. She even changed her name on Zoom to Amai Veneka. So it just depends. And what we're doing here, it's not prescriptive. You do you. And Chiposha, I hope you know what that means. You do you. You're the old person here. Keep your love. So you have to do you. If you want to be my Ningi, if you want to be Rachel, my Ari, it's all up to you. But Melody feels like being called my Ningi after a certain while does something. I remember my mom when she visited, I was struggling to say, hey, this is Tendai, to introduce her to other people. My mom's name was Tendai. And then she was like, it was 700 years in this around, you know. So, you know, everyone always wants to have their identity even after the baby comes. And Janet said, I would like to make a contribution. Okay, that's a private comment. Okay, so closing remarks. This has been very exciting. Closing remarks would be, what has been the highlight of your parenting journey? And I want to hear from other people. I don't know if I should call out people who've been quiet. I know Edith has made some comments. I don't know, Edith, if you're a parent, even if you're not, you can share if you'd like, but both on Facebook and on the Zoom, what has been the highlight of your parenting journey? You can just share. Anyone can share. We can start with our regular speakers just to break the ice and as we close the program.
Edith had unmuted.
Okay, Edith, go ahead.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm multitasking, so I can't share my screen.
That's okay.
But yeah, well, the highlight for me has been how I have, reconnected with my inner child. I'd sort of lost a lot of the things that I loved to do when I was younger. But when I had my kids, especially the youngest, who's turning 3 on Friday, I had to go back to that little girl again, and it's been such a joyous experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll say that has been my highlight.
All right, and then I'm quickly going to announce a winner here. Most
And
creative.
Shingi, before you do that, I just wanted to highlight something that used to happen when we were raising our own kids. Remember when the kid was born, the traditional way of measuring how the baby is growing was to have this little, like bangle, but made of a thread and a button.
I know,
And
Janet and I talked about that. Tushinda, tunemaguri, and button. Sorry, I have to speak in Shona. I don't know how to say it in English.
Yes, actually, I mean, now that I look back at it, it was for measuring, like the growth of the baby. But during that time, it was sort of like, like tradition, yekuti mwana anofana kuswaka button kudzivirira a lot of other stuff like uka, things like that. And also you see most of the kids, vakasungirirwa tumutimi so muchiuno, like, not the modern, like waist chains, but tushinda tinenge kana kaguri kana guvhu rake rakasungirirwa so that it was like a charm to make sure kuti mwana habatwe like nebuka. So things like that used to happen. But as people got more enlightened, people started questioning it. So I find that nowadays most kids don't have it. I'm not sure if there's still some who do, but most of the kids don't have it. So it was things that happened during our time. It was difficult for you to stand up and say, oh my God, you can't do this to my child, because it wasn't acceptable. But I'm sure as we move towards, as we modernize and as we start to learn more things and get to understand things better, I'm sure like 99% of the kids that are born nowadays don't have it mabhengoro and tunhu muchiuno and tunhu muhuro tinenge tichirembera kana kuti nyora dzinenge dzakatema futi both cheeks dzinodzirira buka as well. So things like those, they used to happen before. So if you see them happening now, you might question it if you want, but really, I don't think, like, probably it's a personal choice as well, like you guys were saying on the other topics.
Oh my goodness. Thanks, Auntie Poshi. That's another discussion. We'll need to bring you back post-TUDiki shower to talk about some of these. We were hoping to have myth versus fact, what some of these traditional things that we used to do, but unfortunately, because of time, we have to wrap up. I'm going to quickly announce a winner for our African attire. Dad just protested. He said, why are the women only winning? This is Munya Brown Gambe. What if I'm a modern expecting father of 3 and expecting a 4th? Can I also win a prize? I mean, I have a small pot belly to prove it. So, Mr. Gambe, you are the winner of Samsara, the African outfit. You need to get in touch with us. You can inbox, you can send an email to sales@tudiki.com to claim your prize. And on the panel, I'm going to randomly, I don't know who has a baby. Somebody says they have a little kid. I have a giveaway. Oh, I don't have, I may not have to give it away. All right, so Diamond, Shelter Flomani Diamond will be our winner for Cuteness Closet. You can get in touch with us. We have some cute little items from Cuteness Closet. She does some crochet stuff on that we're going to be giving you as a gift to you, or you can always re-gift it to someone. And Bless More, it said, thank you for highlighting the fact that as mothers, we need to ask for help because sometimes it gets really hectic and frustrating. Bless More will be our last winner. So you can inbox me and I'll tell you what you've won, because I need to find out, if you have a baby or not. We have a cake from a cake baker. If you're local, if you're in Zimbabwe, I can certainly give that to you. But thank you so much. We have 1 minute. I know we have a lot to talk about. This week, tomorrow, tune in for the feeding and parenting session. Wednesdays, meet the doctors. Thursdays, wellness and health. and Friday is fatherhood. So all those dads with pot bellies, this is for you. We need to hear you speak, and you know, or are you being considered stupid? You can't raise your own kids, you're gonna break the baby. So just share your insights. To my panelists, my awesome panelists, my friends, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You're always there supporting and give me more than I can handle, more than I can chew, but I take it in. And Rachel, my Ari, thank you so much. Janet, my Crystal-lee, my Josh, thank you so much. My Kandemiri, thank you. Chipo, my Veneka, thank you. And Yeve, my Mini, thank you so much. And everyone who's joined, thank you so much. This has been a great opening to the rest of the week. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Same time, 6 p.m. Zimbabwean time, and wherever else you are in the world, just calculate, guys. I can't give you all your time zones. So 6 p.m. is our point of reference. Thank you so much, ladies, and just stay safe during COVID. Have a peaceful environment around you and enjoy your parenting journey. You can only, you are a good mom, so don't stress yourself too much. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks so much, Shingi. Thanks, TUDiki. You're doing a wonderful job, baby sis.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shingi. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shingi. Bye.
Take care. Thanks, panel. Bye-bye.
Bye.